So you're getting close to completing your first draft, and you're interested to see how many times or how many verbs you're using throughout your text. You can try using AI to generate analysis to see, in fact, how many times different verbs are being used. For this example, I'm using the following prompt. It reads, review the following text and create a table with each finite verb used. Determine how many times each finite verb was used and determine the number of finite verbs used overall. Now, in this example, we look at, let's say, here in this case, we have 125 verbs that are being used. So you can see if you are, how many different verbs you're using. You can also see which verbs you tend to use more than others. Now, in this case, we also have two modals that are being included in our analysis. And we look at the very first modal, can, used 10 times. We might look at our text again to see whether or not we're over hedging. If we're using can too often, if there are any times where maybe we can remove can to be a little bit more assertive in the tone that we're trying to achieve in our academic text. Same way with may, not to say that you shouldn't use may or you should not use can, but again, this allows for maybe a further investigation to see whether or not may is the most appropriate way to hedge that particular idea. Look at whether it's a topic sentence versus an evidence sentence, etc. And then just overall look at the different verbs that are being used. If you find that you're not using as many verbs, then you might be able to go in here and find some synonyms or alternative verbs that you could use. So you're broadening your lexicon, so to speak, when you're drafting your academic text. So try this prompt, experiment with the wording to get the results that you need. But just a quick analysis that I did this morning generated this kind of analysis, and I think this can be very useful when you're looking at the different verbs that you're using. One other thing I forgot to mention before I conclude here is also looking for any phrasal verbs that might pop up and making sure that those are the words that you want to use. Those are the verbs. Maybe in some cases we can avoid the phrasal verbs, the idiomatic verbs, and use more literal language as an alternative. And so again, this type of chart might help you go through and do that kind of an analysis once you're getting close to completing your first draft. So I hope this helps. Always interested in knowing what kind of prompts you're using, how you're using AI to help you. I think in this particular case, analyzing our work that we've already completed ourselves and using AI to help us, in this case, broaden our lexicon, I think is something that I would take advantage of as you're becoming a better writer.